Hello everyone, and welcome back to Multiverse Studio. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And here we are once again covering the kits that we got from the previous month, that being the month of August. During the month of August, we got some newly anticipated releases and a couple of surprises that I just can't wait to share with you guys. But as usual, we're going to start with the smallest kits, lower grades, and work our way up. So let's not waste any further time and let's get started. Now our first kit is nothing big or special, but I thought I would still share it with you guys. And that is this option part set. This is the third option part set, and it's basically just a set of hands. But what's really cool about this one is actually that it's really cheap. I mean, at least here in Japan it's like 500-600 yen or so, but you do get three sets of hands, and they come in different sizes. So these are the edge hands. There's another one for round hands. And basically you get three sets of small, medium, and large. And for that price, I think that's actually well worth it. As there are some kits that only come with one hand, or there's not that many hand options. I think this is actually quite good. Our second kit is another option part set, and that is option part set number 17. And this is the binder gun. And I believe this is the newest option part set that just got released, and it's basically a gun, but at the same time it can be used as a sword and as wings for a backpack, I believe. You can see more of that here on the sides. So again, I think this is a pretty good pick. Some of the optional part sets are pretty good, where you can mix and match and basically kit bash. Another cool thing about this kit is actually that it comes with a lot of connectors, which you don't even need for this kit itself, but you can use with other parts. So it basically gives you more tools for kit bashing. Now our next kit can be considered another optional part set, but this one is a bit more precise. And that is the MS Option Set 1 and CGS Mobile Worker. And basically here what you get are 3 weapons, well 2 and a shield, and you get this little guy right here, the Mobile Worker. So as far as weapons, it seems like you get this railgun for the Barbados, you get a spear, and you get a shield. So again, very simple kit. But for what you get here, I think this is pretty good. Now the kits are going to start getting a little bit bigger. And next up, it's a completely new type of kit. It's something that I've never built before, and that is planes. I've never built a plane model kit. This would be my first. And when I saw this, I actually had an idea of doing some kind of diorama with it, which is the reason that I got it. So that's going to be a future project. And so this is something that's super new to me. I actually am looking forward to doing something like this. I don't know how challenging it would be, but from what I can tell, there's like a million small parts here. So after building this kit, then who knows if I'm going to branch out and build more airplane kits later on. Now I really don't know much about planes. From what I can tell is that this is a World War II Japanese fighter plane. But something that I do know is that it's a Fine Models. That's the company that makes these. And I know that this company is really famous for making airplane models. And I think ships as well, but that I'm not sure. Now our next kit is a kit that didn't make it into last month's haul video, because it arrived late, but it is here now. And that is the Figure Right Standard Neon Kit. And this is the one that accompanies Machu, as you can see right here on the image. I got the Machu kit in June, and this kit came out in July. Now this kit comes with a bunch of accessories, which makes it really possible, and I'm sure it's going to look really good next to Machu. And then both of them are going to look even better next to their Gundams. Like many of our other kits, I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to this one. Hopefully sooner than later. But now that I have both Machu and Neon, it would be nice to include both of them in a single video. That way we can get it out of the way and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now next up is a kit that got released in early August, and I didn't have time to do a review on it, but I did get the kit, because of course I did. And that is the Gallus J from Gundam Double Zeta. I'm still finishing Gundam Zeta. I'm almost done, and then after that I'm going to continue with the Gundam Double Zeta. But just by looking at this, I can tell that it is a really cool design. So I am looking forward to, once I get there, I can see this in action. Also, I think that the Gallus J is a new release. So from the side images, it looks like a pretty cool kit. You do get a couple of nice gimmicks. Either way, it makes a really good addition to the other Gundam Double Zeta kits that I have. Next up, we have a Gundam Freedom Seed kit, and one that I actually think is really cool. And that is the Gelgug Menace Luna Maria Hawk Custom. I've said it once and I'll say it again, but I really like the majority of the Gundam Seed kits, and this one is no exception. What I really like about this Gelgoog version are the sharp edges. Also, with the addition of the backpack, that just makes it even cooler. Something else, even though this Gelgoog has a lot of changes, even from far away you can still tell that it's a Gelgoog. Unlike the J-Quest kit version, when we all saw it we thought it was a gem. Next kit is another Gundam Seed kit, and it goes along well with the one that we just saw. And also it is one that I actually mentioned last month that I really wanted, and that is the Gion Strong. Now I had seen this kit before, so I was very surprised when I saw it along the Gelgoog, and of course I had to get both of them. So this is another really cool iteration of the Gion, even though this one comes with an axe instead of a sword. The shield is really cool here. Here are some of the side images. Again, another really good iteration of the Gion. I really like the color scheme. And now looking at the side, it does seem like you do get a sword and a whip. Now after seeing the last two iterations of the Gion, it has turned me into a Gion fan. And I do look forward to getting this kit's build and actually having them side by side. If you thought that we were done with two Gundam Seed kits, then you would be wrong. For we have a third. And this is the Black Knight Squad Rudro A, Griffin Arvallis Custom. Now I really like the design on this one, and the name is very fitting, right? Black Knight, and it really does look like a medieval Black Knight. And I really like the edge of the sword being a beam saber, and we can see the red cape here on the side images. Not only does it come with a sword, but it comes with a handgun as well. Also from the illustration here, I really like the color scheme of the black and green. Now that we're past the high grades, it is time to go on to the next grade, that being the real grades. And this time we were able to get some, so that brings us a step closer to our goal. So first up, we're going to look at the Gundam MK2 AEUG version. So this is a Gundam from Gundam Zeta. Although color scheme wise, I do prefer the Titan version a little bit better. I think it just looks cooler. But for the purpose of finishing our collection, we do need this one. And here are some side images of that. Another thing that I find funny about this kit is how it was released right after the Titan version, and the only thing that differentiates them apart would be the color scheme. Besides that, I think they're identical. Now this next RG kit is a pretty rare one, as I haven't seen it that often, and I've only actually seen it twice, and those two times that I've seen it, it has been pretty overpriced. So I've passed on it, and I don't think it has been reproduced lately, which is probably why it's a bit expensive. But I was able to find it again, and the price wasn't too bad. So Johnny Raiden Saku 2. Now this is a really cool looking kit, and again, a bit of a rare one. Just by first glance, it looks like Char Saku. Even though it's still red, there are some differences, especially right here on the legs. And then the spikes are different colored. I think the chest is a little bit different as well. And of course you got this massive bazooka. And here on the side, it actually explains a little bit more on what makes it different to other Saku 2s. And here on the side are some more pretty cool shots. Tell me that the Johnny Raiden doesn't actually look like a Psycho Gundam without the massive backpack. I'm very happy I added this kit to the collection, as again, it is pretty rare and I haven't seen it in a couple of months, and it is highly overdue for a re-release. And if that were to happen, then we would probably end up picking up a second one. Now moving on to our next real grade is another popular kit, and that is the Force Impulse Gundam Spec 2. Now this one I would still consider one of the newer ones, since this is number 39 in the series, and currently we are at 42. Actually this month the next RG kit gets released, that being the Wing Gundam Zero. Interestingly enough, this kit has already been released in the real grade lineup, and that was back on number 33 I believe. And if I'm correct, I think the only difference between that one and this one is the inner frame. This of course being a little bit newer, I think it's more stable, probably better articulation than the previous one. Now here you can see both kits together, and besides the small differences in color, you can definitely see that it is the same kit. Now that I'm seeing these next to each other, I actually do prefer the color scheme of the original one. I think it would be definitely cool to have an in-depth comparison for both of these kits. The thing that I like most about this kit is the backpack. Our last RG kit that we're going to look at is actually from Premium Bandai, and surprisingly enough, is another Impulse Gundam. But this one is the Blast Impulse Gundam Spec 2. Now this one looks really cool. I feel like it is more detailed, and I do like the color scheme. And of course, what makes this one different to the other ones is the backpack, as you have two giant cannons right here. I've seen this kit on display, and it actually looks really, really cool. And it's actually what gave me that small nudge to actually get one of these. If I find a picture, I'll show it on screen. We've reached the master grade section, and to get us started, it's going to be one of the latest releases, and that is the MGSD Aerial. And this one was released at the end of August, and we do have a full build and review, which you can check out right here. Now, since I've already built and reviewed this kit, I can tell you that this was definitely a fun build. Now, another cool thing that I can tell you about this kit, having already built and reviewed it, is how much fun it was. And it actually was my first MGSD kit build, so I am actually looking forward to getting the next one's build. And at the end of that review, while I was finishing that video, I discovered that the next one was announced, that being the Destiny Gundam, which is another really cool looking kit. So I am looking forward to that one as well. That's going to be released in March, so for sure we're going to get our hands on that one. I was really impressed with this kit and how much detailed it was, especially in the shield and how you can take it apart. Also, the inner frame on this one is very detailed. And if you're curious to see more about this kit, then check out my full review here on the channel. Now, our next kit is a pre-owned Bandai kit, and one that actually looks pretty cool. And that is the F80 Gun Raid. So basically, this is a mass production variant of the F90. Now, the F80 is actually the mass production variant of the F90, so they are a little bit similar. So again, unfortunately, you can't really see much from the premium Bandai boxes since they all come in a single color. But seeing this kit in real time, it's actually really, really good. Hence why I picked it up. So yeah, here's another kit to add to the collection. Next up is a bigger master grade and also a pre-owned Bandai item. And that is the Gundam Age 1 Full Glanza Designer's Color version. Now this one I picked it up because it actually looked really cool in the images. But honestly, I really don't know much about Gundam Age. And you can take a look at the image right here just to see how cool it is. And from the looks of it, it looks to be like a well-armored kit, and I really like the aesthetics here. And our next item is a little bit different, but something that we've seen before. And that is the Gundam artifact. And this one right here is Phase 4. This is the one that includes the Psycho High Mobility Type, Gaia and Ortega, Super Gundam, Palace Athene, Wing Gundam, and the Talgis. And you can see those right here. Again, for some of you that might be unaware, the Gundam artifact are basically like miniatures. You still put them together. They're more simplified. They do hold some pretty good amount of detail, and they come in a single color. So I do find myself referencing them to more like Space Marines. And there's a total of 6 different ones, but I'm still unsure whether you would get all 6 if you buy a box or not, but we'll find out once we get this opened. Now this one is the Gundam Superior Defined, and this is a brand new line, this being the first one. Although very similar to the Gundam artifact, this one is a little bit different as it focuses on SD kits, as we can see right here from the front image. And the models do resemble the artwork. And you can see the models a little bit more clear on this side. So this one comes with 5 different figures that you can get. One being the Wing Gundam 0 EW, Musha C Gundam, Burning Gundam, or otherwise known as the God Gundam, Gundam TR6, Wandward, and the High Gog. Another thing that you can get right here are the stickers. And these ones are random, and I'm not sure how many different ones there are, but there's definitely more than 5. And who knows, this might actually be a preview for the ones in the next box. And this is another really cool pickup that I didn't really know about until I saw it on the website. And we're down to our last 2 kits, and you guys know I always say the best for last. And this one I got from the Gundam base. So during that time, a lot of people were walking around with this kit in their bags. And from afar, I really didn't know what kind of kit it was. I just knew that it was pretty big size. It was red. So I kind of figured that probably it was a Sasabi. It's actually a Nightingale. Now, I've been wanting a Nightingale for the last couple of months, and it's either been too expensive that I passed it by for something else, but to my luck, this was available that day. And this is a clear color version, and even though I really don't go for clear color kits, because I really don't like them, this one is definitely the exception. Even though it's clear, it still looks really good. And if I were to paint this kit, then it doesn't really matter if it's clear or not. An interesting thing about this kit also is that this being the high grade version, I always assumed that the full mechanics one was more detailed. And of course it is bigger. Therefore, I did believe that it had more detail and was better overall. But it turns out that the high grade version actually has more detail than the full mechanics. Therefore, this being better. Articulation wise, I'm not sure which one would be better, but I don't really think it matters since the Nigel is not really a possible kit anyway. So yeah, this was definitely a really good pickup, and it's gonna look really, really good next to the Hy-Vee Gundam. Now for the final kit, this one actually came as a big surprise. It was totally unexpected, and it had been in my back orders for a very long time. And so when I saw that it actually was available, I couldn't believe it. And let me show you guys what that is. And that is the massive oil from Gundam Zeta. And even the box that it comes with, you would think that it's a perfect grade. It's got this plastic handle on it. This was definitely a surprise. This was definitely a surprise, and also a big coincidence since I am finishing Gundam Zeta. So this kit right here is very relevant to me. And for this, we can actually see some pretty cool images on the sides. And a little bit more on the back side. Also, something that I find interesting is that even though this kit doesn't really have much detail, its massive size makes up for it, and it still shows off a lot of good presence. We've now reached the end of the video and covered all the kits for the month of August, but I do have a bonus for you guys. So if you stuck around, then thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And this is actually not a kit, or could be a kit. Well, no, actually, it's more like miniatures, and it is a very famous brand. A very expensive brand, so it's a very expensive hobby to get into, and it is a hobby that people from the Gundam community kind of end up doing, and then people from the other community kind of get into Gundam, so they kind of blend with each other. And that is Warhammer. Now Warhammer is really, really cool, and also really, really expensive, especially here in Japan, where some of these figures can really go for really high prices. And actually, the reason I even bought this was because of the price. This is really almost a steal. It's only 500 yen, which I don't know is probably like around $4 or so. Now for that price, for you to get 2 figures, that's a steal. And what this is, it's actually a series. So as you can see right here, this is number 1. And each month, another one of these boxes pops up. And actually inside, it's got a lot of information about Warhammer. Also, what's really cool about this box is that it's more like a starter set, and I believe it's to introduce people into the game. It comes with dies, a mat, some painting tips, a little bit of the lore, and other stuff. And these are the next sets that are coming up. The first is always the cheapest, and I think that's just to hook you in. And then the next one will depend on what they have. You get these 3 guys for 1,500 yen, and then for number 3 you get 5 Space Marines for the same price. So eventually, if I start collecting these boxes month to month, I should end up with something like this. Now, I've never played Warhammer before. It does look like an interesting game, but like I said before, it's also a really expensive game, and honestly I don't think I have the time for it. So probably what I'm just going to end up doing is just collecting the figures and painting them. But who knows? With time, and after having collected some figures, I might actually give it a try. So that wraps everything up. Definitely some really cool kits for the month of August, and who knows what next month will bring. But we'll eventually find out. And until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.